Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Ryden. It's been 57 years since we landed on the moon, so the obvious question, if you're an explorer, is where to next? But in those 57 years, we still haven't quite figured out how to make the trip to the next closest destination, Mars, without finding someone with 6 to 8 months on their hands, and that's just one way. The stars, other galaxies, forget about it. Well, our guest today, CharlesCVaden, isn't forgetting about it. In his book, Space Family Odyssey, Lost in Space, he charts a course for travel that truly is out of this world. Charles, nice to have you with. Is Charles or Chuck? What do you go by?
Chuck, please.
All right, well, Chuck it is. Needless to say, we are dealing with science fiction here. What inspired this flight of fancy?
Well, I go back to when I was 10 years old. I think I was in the fourth grade, and I went to see a movie by myself for the first time in my life.
Hmm.
And the movie was Robinson Crusoe on Mars.
Ah,
And
yes.
when I saw that movie, it was a classic. Of course, it still is. It's one of the first movies ever about Mars exploration. And from that moment on to this day, I have wanted to go to Mars. I've looked up everything, I know everything about it. But the problem is, we've put landers on there. We know a lot about the Martian atmosphere and the soil and everything else, but it's just the closest planet. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
But it does give us a chance to practice landing on another heavenly body that's not Earth or the moon. So that's the realism of Mars. It's just a practice to leave the solar system and seek other destinations, which is what this book is about.
Yeah. Now, usually TV shows are based on stories, but you've turned the tables, basing your story on an old TV show. Was that your idea, or do they know about it?
Totally my idea. I've been looking for something like this for years. So when the idea came to me, I joined a gym about 15 minutes away, and the owner of the gym has a family with three kids, yeah, like 8 through 12. And so I asked him one day, I go, how would you and your family like to take a trip to another planet? And he goes, oh, it sounds exciting. And I said, well, I'm going to write a book about your family and you're going to be lost in space. He goes, okay, I'm into it. So I met the family. I all got them all NASA flight suits, set them up, took pictures, got everything going. And then it just started clicking, started rolling. So when I feel like I'm ready, I'll sit down at the computer and I'll whip out maybe 10 pages if I'm
Huh.
ready. And that's how I do it. So it's not something I can just turn on and off. It just comes about. It's a feeling, and then I hit the ground rolling, and it just comes out.
But
It's great.
isn't this based on the old CBS show, Lost in Space?
It is totally based on that.
Because I
They
see
take
there are
half of the
pictures.
story.
Yeah, there are
Oh yeah,
pictures in your
the
book
pictures
with the
exactly
cast. They know
right.
about that?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Absolutely. So everybody was kind of shocked at what I was doing and how it was going to come out. But what I did was I turned it a little bit and I have equations, I have physics in the books you can
Hmm.
learn. This is real
Right.
stuff. This
Yeah.
is NASA stuff that I know. So everything in the book is real, but there is some sci-fi, of course, because the family's traveling in a spaceship that's never been tested. And they
Hmm.
exceed the speed of light. Nobody knows what'll happen, but it happens to them. They get lost. Their sensor array doesn't work. Everything's kind of up in the air. And all of a sudden, they pop out into a solar system. They detect a planet that's slightly Earth-like. They land on it because they're lost. They don't know where to go. And they land on a planet that's more Earth-like than Earth itself. There is no CO2 in the atmosphere. It's a perfect atmosphere. Nitrogen, oxygen, trace elements, perfect. The temperature on the planet is in the 70s every day. They have water. The planet's covered in water, H2O, real water. They have everything they need. There's animals on the planet that they end up killing for food. And then they meet the raptors, kind of like raptors from Earth's 68 million years ago, and these creatures are on this planet. And this planet is basically called Cygni 61 A and B. And the A and B means there's two suns. It's a binary system.
Hmm.
And a lot of people ask me, well, how can we live in a binary system? Well, I go, you live on Earth, people from a binary system wouldn't know how that works, but it does.
Well, do they speak English in this place?
They don't speak at all. They talk to each other through mental systems that they use. But when the family discovers them, first contact, they bring them back to their ship with sign language, however they can draw it. The
Uh-huh.
families they end up calling them the Talons. So they have to come up with a name. And so they start calling them that. They bring them to their ship, the Valkyrie, and they run a computer system check on them, and they find out through their mental capabilities and what they can do, they come up with a phraseology right in their own spaceship that they can communicate with.
Hmm.
And the aliens pick up on this right away and they learn how to speak phrases in English.
Oh,
So
okay.
this planet has everything you could ever dream about. And that's why the family doesn't want to leave. They've repaired the ship, but they've talked to NASA. They've figured out how to get an array system in orbit to talk with NASA. And they say, we don't want to leave. We're not going to Alpha Centauri because this planet, you can't beat this planet. It has everything. And then, of course, it has dangers that they find through their, day after day.
Yeah,
New
probably also has a Starbucks, I
Oh
imagine.
yeah.
They're
Well,
everywhere.
this spaceship has everything. It's got a rover that can jump canyons with power. It's got a fighter jet that they can fly around the planet in. It's an unbelievable spaceship. It's truly sci-fi, but the engine status and how they accelerate and exceed the speed of light, those engines are real.
Yeah.
We know how to do it, but we haven't done it. That's the only difference between this ship and what we have on Earth.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I noticed about your book early on. Like I think at the first chapter, you have a lot of numbers in there, and it was
Oh yeah.
amazing to me just how far a light year is.
Oh, it's incredible.
Explain that to our viewers.
Well, a light, of course, is how far a light year is how far light can travel in a year. So you take the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second,
Right.
which we're not even a hundredth of that yet, but you take that and you multiply it by the number of seconds in a year. That's a big number. So
Yeah.
186,000 times the number of seconds in a year, you come out with 587 trillion miles. That's just one light year.
Oh,
Alpha Centauri is 4.2 light years, and the planet they land on is 11.2 light years. Boggles the mind. So when I
yeah.
tell people about astronomy, I go, don't even think about the universe. It's too big, it boggles the mind. Think about just the galaxy, our sector of the galaxy.
But
And that's where
there've been photos of things beyond our galaxy, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a
Photos of everything. And here's the thing that blows people away that we've had for some years now is light from stars.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Well, it just looks like a star at night. They all look the same, right? Well, if you shake that light through a telescope and run it through a prism, it deflects it into various wavelengths of light. And then from that, we can learn how big the star is, how far away it is, how hot it is, and when it will die. We can get all that from the light
And a
alone.
lot of and a lot of times it's already died, but
Oh
we're
yeah,
just still
exactly. And,
yeah.
and it's like just a good experiment is look at the sun. The light you see from the sun left the sun 8.3 minutes ago.
Wow.
Everything you look at in space, you're looking through time
Yeah.
to well, way in the past. So there's two supernovas that are going to go supernova in a matter of several hundred years.
Hmm.
But because they're so far away, 1,500 light years, we won't see the supernova till after it's already happened 1,500 years ago. But when you do see it, it will shine in the sky brighter than the moon.
That does boggle the mind.
It's
Have you
amazing.
always been interested in space
Oh,
travel, even as a
absolutely.
kid?
I love
Hmm.
fantasy and I love sci-fi. That is my escape, but I make it real
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
NASA. So every bit of information I have, I was in mechanical engineering college, is engineering, which I've kept up with my whole life. So everything is about engineering, physics, the study of physics. Yes, that's it. But physics comes about through physicists who come up with these ideas, like Albert Einstein, E equals MC squared. Where did he get that? I think, did it just pop into his head? Is Albert Einstein, was he actually an alien? These are questions that deserve some respect
Uh-huh.
because personally, I don't think that just popped into his head one day. I think he came here for a certain reason to get Earth on a course that he wanted them to be on. And this number came up, this equation. It's so simple yet massive. Of course, it's the beginnings of all atomic power
Well, it's
and everything that we have.
simple to you, maybe. I was brain dead in science classes.
Oh,
Um,
I loved it. I loved
well,
every bit of it.
well, your life is pretty adventurous in itself. I mean, you're a military pilot. Well, you flew F-16s in Iraq
Yep.
during the
Harriers,
war,
the Marine Corps, F-16s in the Air Force.
and you've been working for NASA. I see the NASA logo on your T-shirt there.
Yep.
What do you do at NASA? What have you done at NASA? Are you still working
I
with them?
I've worked with a lot of different things with them. I'm basically a contractor, part-time.
Hmm.
So whenever NASA has a hiccup in government funding, they lay off all the part-time employees.
Oh.
But that's happened to me 5 or 6 times in 10 years, but they always bring you back
Hmm.
every
Hmm.
time. So I love NASA. It's the greatest company on this planet. They
Hmm.
take good care of you as long as you produce and give them what they want. And that's what I do. They send me an equation or something in the computer, and it's my job to figure this out, put it in English language where astronauts and everybody else can understand it, and send it back to NASA. And when they go through everything and figure it out and make it real, then I
Hmm.
get paid.
What's an
So
example? What's an example of that? I mean, they send you an equation.
yeah,
What's
an
that?
example would be like, let's say we want to travel, we're going to Mars.
Okay.
Now, we've sent 3 landers there. One's no longer functional, two are. But they only travel around the surface at 2 or 3 miles an hour. You're never going to figure anything out with that. You
Hmm.
need human exploration. So, what I do is I create equations that will tell NASA what speed and what altitude you have to enter the Martian atmosphere at to not burn up. Because unlike the moon, Mars and the moon both have a sixth Earth gravity. So there's not much gravity, which is good. You can walk around and jump around, and you can jump 20 feet at a time. It's no big deal.
Hmm.
So, and then the other difference is, of course, the moon has no atmosphere at all. So it's much easier to land there. There's no interference. You can't burn up. There's no atmosphere. But
Hmm.
Mars has an atmosphere. It's thin, but it's there. You can burn up if you come in too fast. So I figure out the material and the type of spacecraft we have, the weight and speed of the spacecraft when we get there, and what altitude and speed you have to enter the atmosphere in to land without burning up. And that's basically what happens.
Well, do you ever see a time when we have manned spaceships to Mars? I mean, right
Oh,
now it would take too long, but
absolutely. Well, it takes about 6 or 7 months at current speeds, but
right.
nobody's planning on launching a Mars mission for another 10 years. So in 10 more years, we're probably going to step up the speed by a factor of 10 or 20. That makes the trip a month or two shorter.
Is that the kind of stuff you would work on as far as equations to make
Absolutely.
that happen?
If they change the speed of entry into the planet atmosphere, that's where I come in.
Hmm.
Okay, with that weight and that speed, this is the altitude and attitude you have to hit the atmosphere at to not burn up.
Is it one of those deals where you fly out there, you go there and you don't age? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You come back
Well,
the same age looking or something.
yeah, it's going to Mars and what this family does, the space family, going to Alpha Centauri. Alpha Centauri is the closest planetary system to us at 4.2 light years. Now, let me give you an example of what we're working on right now. 1 gram of antimatter can take a huge ship, 100,000 ton ship, and get it to Saturn in a matter of a week. But
Really?
from Saturn to Alpha Centauri would take 10 or 20 tons of antimatter. We don't have the money or the means to produce that much. So that kind of engine is 100 years or more away.
Hmm.
Now, what the family has, they have 3 engines on this Valkyrie spaceship. One is for in-close maneuvering. One is for less than light speed within a planetary system. And the other engine, nuclear, can go up to 100 times the speed of light. And
Hmm.
that's what this family does. Once they clear Saturn and Neptune, they engage the stellar drive, I call it the star drive. And basically, it can go 100 times the speed of light. But the family doesn't really know how to enter the speed of light. They just set the new engine at full power and go. And as soon as they exceed the speed of light, everything goes wrong. But number one, they didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
And all the things that can go wrong in space, as you know, it's empty.
Yeah.
Space is a deadly environment. There is no life in space.
That must
But
have been
in space, yes.
no, I'm
Um,
saying that must have been fascinating to write because you're taking, real life science and then just kind of going with it,
oh,
just
exactly.
saying what
And
would
that's
happen if, what if?
Yeah, that's the basis of all sci-fi. Take some known quantity and expand it and get it out there. And
Mhm.
that's what this book is about. This family, NASA picked, and they did a lot of tests on them, and they found out this family has the best flexibility of any of the other families. Thousands of families sent in to do
Mm.
this. Of course, it's a dream come true for families that want fantasy and sci-fi because that's what it is, and they don't
Exactly.
know that until it happens to them.
Well,
But if I had to say one thing about space travel, I
yeah,
would say this, and this is a total. Everybody knows about this, but if it can go wrong, it will. And in
Mhm.
space, if it goes wrong, you could die like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't take much.
yeah.
So if you're off a half a degree on your instrumentation going to a planet, you'll totally miss it and you'll never even see it.
Well, I think on your T-shirt it ought to say, "If you can't exceed the speed of light, you aren't going anywhere,"
That's
because that's in the
exactly
book.
right. That sentence says it all. That's one of my most popular expressions.
Right.
If we don't, even getting to the speed of light, it would take 4.2 years to get to Alpha Centauri.
Oh,
Way too long.
yeah.
So we
It's like,
need to exceed the speed of light. And according to Einstein, we can't. Well, I don't believe that. I happen to be one of those people that believes in sci-fi and fantasy, and we will exceed the speed of light.
all right. Well, let's read about it in A Space Family Odyssey, Lost in Space. It's available on Amazon. Available anywhere else, Chuck?
Barnes and Noble, Amazon, as far as I know, those two, and Rose Sicily at Atticus Publishing has got it at a few other stores as well. And all you have to do is, I don't think it'll be in the book. It probably in the epilogue. It'll tell you how to view this and how to get it. On Amazon, it's real easy. If you want to go to Barnes and Noble, they should have it on the stand as soon as you walk in. It should be
All right.
right there
Sounds
because it
great.
won't come
Hey,
out for another couple of weeks.
great. Hey, Chuck, thanks so much for joining us. And thank you, folks, for spending a few minutes with us on the Global Book Network. I'm Paul Ryden. We'll see you next time.